Stream is going. All right. On your folder. All right. You all have names. Okay. I don't know why. If you want to change it, you can.
Mr. Lego.
Yeah. Don't change mine though. Don't change other people's folders. Okay. Please do me a solid. Make sure you're in your folder.
What?
Okay.
Why am I
So
like Gryffindor?
go to your folder, and then inside this folder, you're going to want to create another folder, and it's going to be called Automoblox Car. The reason why we're calling it that is because that's actually what these are called. If you look at it, it says Automoblox. Okay. Every activity that you do, you're going to want to probably make a folder for. Now, I'm going to warn you. If the activity is just like one file, okay, you don't have to put it in a folder. But many activities, you actually will have multiple files. Every single part here is going to be its own file. Understand this? So you are going to want to make sure that you put it in a folder, or this is going to get gnarly by the end of the year. So Automoblox Car, okay? And then inside Automoblox Car, we are going to make a file. You click on Create, and you make a document. We understand this? Yes, yeah?
Yeah.
And the document is going to be named whatever that part is. So if you put your stuff in the appropriate places, I don't necessarily need you to have your name and every file name. Okay? Just understand that if you don't put it in your folder, then we have no idea whose it is. So we're going to start off with the middle section, which for the non-minivan is the only section that has people. You can actually take the people out. You do not try and take out this plastic thing that's got the shapes. Okay, don't try and take that out. Also, these, don't try and take these out either. Okay, but this is the passenger section of the video, or the car. I would take the people out, it'll be easy. Okay, so I'm going to call this passenger section. I'm going to call this passenger section. And you'll notice the name of the file is up here. You can change it at any time. All right? Do we have any questions so far? Okay. So what I am going to do is I am going to show you how I would do this. The point is that you learn good techniques. I am not implying that what I'm doing is the only way to do this task, but this is not a figure it out, do it yourself. This is like a you follow along. Okay, we understand? I'm trying to ingrain some good techniques, all right, and doing this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to draw this, okay? And then I'm going to extrude it the length of the passenger section. So we are going to click on Sketch. What are we clicking on? Yeah. And we are going to choose the front plane. You can select it either by clicking on it in the middle area, or you can actually click on it over here. All right? I'm going to sketch on the front plane. Now that I've started a sketch on the front plane, I'm going to click on the front side of this view cube over here so that I'm looking dead on with where I'm sketching. Are we good so far?
Yep.
Now, one of the things that will save you a ton of time is making use of symmetry. It's not always intelligent or wise to make use of symmetry, especially when there is no symmetry. But when there is symmetry, and that symmetry you know is going to be maintained no matter what, it's usually worth using it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a rectangle that is centered around the center of this. The origin is where we're going to actually do this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to click this drop down arrow next to the rectangle tool. Okay? And there's actually 3 different ways that it lets you draw a rectangle. The middle one is what's referred to as a center point rectangle. And if you click on that, the way you make a center point rectangle is you start with a click, the origin, and then you move your mouse out, and that clicks a corner. Jordan, you good, my dude? All right. So I have not dimensioned it yet, but I have made a rectangle. And as a little thing here, you'll notice how this is still blue. That tool is still selected. To get out of a tool, you hit escape. It's a key on your keyboard, top left. And you'll notice now I can like click to select things rather than drawing more rectangles. I can click this edge and I can drag around and it resizes things. I can click a corner and drag around and resize things, right? We see this? Yes, yeah. Okay. So that is an option. We are going to dimension this. And if you get out your calipers, put your battery back in, okay? Always zero the calipers before you make a measurement. Every measurement, zero, measure it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the width of my thing. And it's going to be a little dependent on the wood and exactly where you're measuring it. Okay, you do you. But I would encourage you to have your calipers touching against some surface. I'm getting 81.8 on that end. 81.6 or 7 on the other end.
I got 80.99, so it's 81.
Right, I'm going to go with 81.7. But you're not using my number, use your number, okay? 81.7-ish, okay, is the width. Generally speaking, the first dimension that you do, you typically want to go with a dimension that is like a big, large overall dimension and scale the entire thing. Because what it does is it scales everything you've drawn up to that point with that first dimension. And then after that, it's going to be, you know, it'll only change the one thing you dimension at a time. What's up, my dude?
Yeah, how'd you do that? Yeah.
You click on this dimension tool. Yeah. You click on the line you want to dimension the width of. You move your cursor, and then you click again to place the number. After you place the number, there's a text box. Type whatever it is you want in there. If you hit enter or whatever, and you want to edit that number, you just double click on that number again, and you can rechange it as needed. We understand? Yeah. Good? Okay. The next dimension that we're going to do is going to be the height. As I said earlier, there's really no point in going beyond 1/10 of a millimeter. Okay? There's just no point. So don't do it. Okay, my height, I got 38.3 something on that side. 38.8 on that side. Lord have mercy. That's not good. That's a huge difference.
I got 38.0 on both sides.
38.7 there. 38.7, 6, 7 over there. 38.3 there. 38.7. I'm going to go with 38.7. I would not get too caught up in these numbers. I'm just going to tell you right now, do not spend too much time trying to figure it out. Now, do you notice how everything is black now?
Yeah.
Before I placed that dimension, some of it was blue.
Yeah.
When I had no dimensions, all of it was blue.
Yeah.
Now it is black. That means it is constrained. Black things are constrained as in they can't be changed. So I've locked the center of the rectangle to be at the origin, and I've told you how wide, how tall it is. I can't change it. There's no alternate versions of this rectangle that are centered on the origin and have those dimensions, right? So it's entirely black. As a general rule, you never want to have a sketch with blue. You always want to eventually get it to be entirely black. Because if it's blue, that means there's some things that are not constrained, which means someone can do exactly what you did and have actually something different, right? Because blue means it's free like the envelope. You understand? Yes, yeah? Okay. Now, Do you notice how the corners are rounded?
Yeah.
There's not really any great way to measure how rounded a corner is. So just get your calipers and you just kind of open them up and you just kind of ballpark about how wide that curve is. Okay? Just kind of make an estimate.
How would you measure that?
You just open the teeth and just kind of ballpark it. Like stretch the teeth out till it looks like it's the the size of the curve.
Oh, okay.
And I'm getting about 8. I'm not saying it's perfectly 8, but it's somewhere around 8. Okay? Maybe 8.5. I don't know. So I'm going to just put 8.5. So get a number. When we do these curves, we're going to do the fillet tool right here. Fillet, okay? We're going to do fillet. Now, when you do fillet, if you are going to fillet several corners that are all going to be the same size, you got to click them all at once. So I click on the fillet tool. I'm going to click on all 4 corners. And then once I've selected all my corners, I'm going to left click off in Narnia to advance the next step, which is typing the number, 8.5. And now all of those fillets are the same size. If I clicked on one corner, I'd have to dimension that one, and then if I wanted to do the other 3, I'd have to dimension each of them. That makes no sense if they're all the same size. Now, they are different sizes. That's what you get to do. Okay. So I have my corners here. You'll notice that I moved my dimension thing so it's easier to see. And I am done making this profile. Done. Okay? There's no more really to make. So, I click on the green check mark. Yes, yeah? Good. Click on the green check mark. What am I going to do next? So I'm going to click on extrude right here. And when you extrude, you have some options. The most obvious option is, what are you extruding? Now, my recommendation for you, so that you can kind of see what's going on, I recommend that you extrude or do features when you're looking at things at an angle so that you can actually see it. So I'm going to click on the corner of my view cube. So I'm looking at it at an angle now. We're good? Yeah? And you'll see, this says faces and sketch regions to extrude. You have to actually select what you want to extrude. Okay, this is blue, so it's expecting something to be selected. I click, and that's what I'm extruding. And then it actually does a preview of what's going to happen. Now we're going to do a few things here that will not always be the same with each extrusion. I want to show you what those things are, and then we'll make a decision which one will be best for this part. Right here is the type of extrusion. You can change it to be up to next, or up to face, or up to part. There's nothing else here, but let's say that we were going to extrude a hole all the way through, right? Instead of having to figure out, well, how far is that hole? I could just choose, up to next and extrude to the next surface. That's really convenient. That's not relevant for us, but I just want you to make sure you understand what your options are. Blind means you're just blindly extruding whatever number you put here. Okay? What number should we put? Well, get out your calipers and measure. Okay, I'm getting about 90.3, 90.2, somewhere around there.
81. Yeah. They're different because the vehicles. Yeah.
Yes, 90.5 there, 90.6. 90.5. So I'm going to go with 90.5. You have to hit enter for it to update the preview. Now, there's a few things that you can change here. There's this black arrow that you can click that changes the direction.
Hey, that's just an arrow.
Okay? You also can click on symmetric and that will actually make it go halfway one direction, halfway the other direction. Okay? You can even, if you want, or no, I wouldn't do this, but you can even have it extrude different direction, like different distances each direction. Okay? That's what this second end position is. I would suggest you either have it go forward or symmetric. I'm going to do not symmetric, and I'll tell you why. There's no symmetry this direction. It's not like this hole is centered or anything like that. So there's not any reason to symmetrically extrude it. So I'm just going to extrude it forward, okay? Before we move on, good habits here. On the left side, you may have noticed as you add things, they appear on the left side. Okay, by the end of this, you're going to have sketch 1, extrude 1, sketch 2, extrude 2, fillet 1, fillet 2. You're going to have all these things that have no meaningful names. Make sure you double click over here. Sorry, I misspoke. Right click over here and rename these things like wooden body. That way, when we have all these features later on, you know which one is which. Do not leave your things as extrude 1, extrude 2, extrude 3. If you have more than 2 features, you need to name them. We understand? Yes, yeah? Yep. If you only have 1 or 2 features, it doesn't really matter. Okay. We are done for the day.